wanted to do a little bit of a tip that may be a little different. Instead of a writing tip, I was going to offer sort of a mental tip. I think for me and for other authors I've spoken to, one of the biggest challenges that we have is getting out of our own head. And so for me, I know that when I started to write several different times in different books, it was always this little voice in the back of my head making me feel like I can't do it. It's going to be terrible. Everybody's going to hate it. It's going to be the worst thing ever. I know that many of you can relate to this. So in going around trying to find ways that I might be able to overcome this problem, I stumbled across a book, a nonfiction book called The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman. And it was really amazing to read this book. I recommend it. He interviews a lot of very famous people who you would never believe have any problem at all with performing, whether it's actors or athletes or artists of any kind. And obviously he actually interviewed authors too. And so with the authors, he talked about, you channel your inner William Shakespeare, or maybe in our case, maybe your inner Agatha Christie, or whatever it is. But the trick was to mentally get yourself into a different place. Because if you are just working as yourself, you're thinking, okay, I, Isabella, can't write. My inner critic is criticizing everything I try to put down on paper or on the computer. So instead, I can channel a different part of myself that I'm like, well, Agatha Christie probably, I can channel that. So the trick was to do something physical to get yourself into that place mentally. And so one of the women he interviewed was like an executive, and she used to appear before a boardroom. And so she had a lot of money. So she went ahead and had herself made up a custom-made Wonder Woman bracelet. And it didn't have the W's on it. It was like a gold cuff bracelet. And she would put that on before she went into her board meeting. And that reminded her to channel her inner Wonder Woman. And, she would think to herself, would Wonder Woman sit here and cower and look at all the important men in their business suits staring at her and feel like she's less than? Of course not. So she put that on, had her power suit on, and she went in there. She just totally took charge, and she acted completely differently. I know in my personal background, I was doing this without realizing I was doing it. My former background before I got into writing, I was in law enforcement. And so for me, putting on a uniform and a gun and a badge was my way of, when I put on that uniform and put on the badge, I would go out there and I would project myself in a totally different way than I did at home. So I already had experience with this even before I read the book, and I thought, oh my gosh, this really does work. There's something to this. And so as a writer, now when I want to do this, I sit down at my desk and I found these glasses. They are actually blue blocker glasses, so they help reduce eye strain anyway. But when I'm getting ready to write, I put on my glasses. And then once, that's like a physical cue that, okay, now I'm in my writer mode. I'm channeling, whoever you might want it to be, whatever author you think just has it totally together. And then it's like I'm connecting with that energy and I am writing. And I'm no longer judging every single word I write, going back and editing 16,000 times so I can't finish the chapter, whatever you want to call it. Or if I'm in editing mode, then I'm doing it judiciously and I'm using the time appropriately. And then when I'm finished writing, I take my glasses off, put them down, and I'm in my regular mode. And I have found that this has helped with the productivity, getting things done, and as I said, kind of at the start of the conversation, mostly getting out of my own way. And that I think has led to the best success, and I've been super happy with it. And so I hope that you all enjoy, and I wish you all the best of luck with your writing projects. Take care.